What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Panthers Pride Television. As I have stated before, the NFL mock draft number 2 is going to be presented on today. But before I get that, man, I just want to talk about NFL key dates that you guys should be paying attention to. So officially, the transition tag and franchise tag is officially over with. You can no longer do that. The NFL Scouting Combine was from the 27th through the 3rd. That's officially over with. And then Monday, the bidding war kicks off. You're going to see a lot of teams offer record-breaking deals. A lot of guys are going to get signed. March 10th is when unrestricted free agents can be contacted. April 21st is when offseason workouts begin. And then April 24th through the 26th is the NFL Draft Day. With that being said, here we go with my second ever Panthers Pride mock draft. So, number 1, Abdul Carter. We know exactly what he means to teams around the league. A lot of guys think that he's generational. He has the potential to be generational, and he was flashing left and right during the bowl games. Number 1, Abdul Carter. 2, Cam Ward. 3, Travis Hunter. Number 4, Will Campbell. Number 5, Will Johnson. Number 6, Ted McMillan. Number 7, Jackson Darks. Number 8 for the Carolina Panthers is Mason Graham. Number 9, Mike Green. 10, Shamar Stewart. 11, Kevin Banks Jr. Number 12, Ashton Genty. 13, James Pierce Jr. 14, Tyler Warren. 15, Jalen Walker. Number 16, Mikael Williams. Number 17, Jade Barron. And number 18, Luther Burden III. Now, I don't go all the way until 32 because, a lot of teams sometimes might have a second pick or a third pick. So I just gave you just the first 18 of my choices currently speaking. So I think that just looking at my draft board, when I look at the draft board and when I've done research, Mason Graham is going to be the guy. I understand Will Johnson was my guy going into it, but I'm kind of flip-flopping between the two. Mason Graham, Will Johnson. Will Johnson, Mason Graham. But currently speaking, I think Will Johnson is going to go early on because the Jacksonville Jaguars need a cornerback. We know that they just released a couple receivers. Hell, they even released their Pro Bowl caliber type of tight end and Evan Ingram. But I think that they struggled defensively a lot. Like, we know that they got a solid pass rusher and Josh Allen, but Will Johnson just fortifies that defense of back end. And I think Mason Graham, when we draft him, is going to cause us to have a lot more flowing action from the linebackers. You pair Mason Graham up with a Derek Brown. I don't see any of the top 7 teams taking him. If you just look at the top 7 teams, there are just too many holes for these teams. Abdul Carter, we know the Tennessee Titans might go lineman or quarterback. The Browns need a quarterback badly. The Giants, they possibly need a quarterback, but they also need some more weapons. Will Campbell is just the obvious pick for the Patriots. Number 5, like I said, the Jags, they need some receivers, but they need defensive really bad. And then the Raiders, they just traded for, what's my guy's name from the Eagles? Geno Smith. So now they need, some more help offensively. Jackson Dart, the Jets, they need a quarterback. You could go Shedeur Sanders here, but then obviously Mason Graham's going to be there. So just looking at the draft board, just looking at the teams that choose above us, Mason Graham is the guy that we are going to be selecting number 8 overall for the Carolina Panthers. So, like I said, it's my second mock draft ever. Hey, I'm happy for it. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. And just tell me if I missed or not. So, with that being said, for every reason I just said, the Tennessee Titans are going Abdul Carter. They now have released Harold Landry, who has been linked with the Carolina Panthers. If you don't know who Harold Landry is, he's a guy on Madden that just makes a lot of plays. He doesn't just make plays on Madden, but he also makes plays in real life. Now, he is going to be age 29. 29 years old. He is a guy that is going to command a nice little penny. His last 2 seasons had over 10 sacks, had over 12 sacks. I don't understand how he is hitting the free agency market. I'm being honest with you. He is one of the better defensive edge rushers, outside linebackers, stand-up edge rushers in free agency. If it wasn't for Milton Williams, he would be a guy that was possibly number one on my board. He's that good. Like I say, he's 28 years old. He has had an ACL injury, but if you watch the tape, 17 games played, and he's 2 to 3 years removed from that ACL injury. 15 quarterbacks hits, 15 tackles for losses, 71 total tackles, 9 sacks. And like I said, he really plays great ball. I don't understand why they let him go. And it's the only reason I can think of the reason why they let him go is because they're going Abdul Carter with the number 1 overall selection. Because this guy, currently speaking, this guy that I'm talking about, Harold Landry, is literally one of the best kept free agents, one of the best kept guys to hit the market. He's phenomenal off the edge. And you're going to see him have a lot of great bend. He understands run and block schemes. He was coached by, I can't even think of the coach right now, Mike Vrabel. So he understands leverage. He understands how to play physical. He understands offensive schemes. He understands what you're trying to do to him. And he has been linked with us. 15 quarterbacks hits, 15 tackles for losses. This is definitely somebody that the Carolina Panthers should look at because, quite frankly, we've had a lot of swings and misses at the defensive line side in free agency. Jadeveon Clowney is a shell of himself. We know about Shy Tuttle. We know about the other defensive tackles that we have signed. Hell, we even know about Xavier Woods and Jordan Fuller, other talents at the defensive side that we've signed in free agency, and they just have not panned out for whatever reason. But this guy, I'm almost 100% sure he is not a swing and miss type of guy. He's a guy that's going to produce instantly. He automatically transforms the Carolina Panthers defensive line. And like I said, he's one of the best kept secrets in my opinion. With that being said, there is also another Heisman finalist that has been linked with the Carolina Panthers. Former Heisman finalist Cam Skattebo has been linked to possibly create a Heisman backfield. Now, if you don't know, Cam Skattebo kind of put himself on the scene late last season. He kind of made a lot of noise saying he was the best running back in college football, said he was better than Ashton Genty, said he was the best player in college football. And I'm not going to sit here and cap. He kind of produced a really, really good throughout the bowl games. Played 13 games this past season, averaged over 130 yards per game, 7 rushing, that is not correct. He had over 1,317 total rushing yards. Excuse me for that blunder right there. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Had 23 touchdowns, had over 2,000 scrimmage yards. I don't know what was going on with that graphic, but it's not correct. Like I said, over 2,000 rushing yards, over 23 rushing touchdowns, over 1,300 rushing yards. He's just been a guy that's going to produce. Cam Skattebo, over 130 yards per game. We know that we had a huge injury with Jonathan Brooks. When you pair Cam Skattebo with eventually Jonathan Brooks when he gets healthy, you pair him with what's my man's name? I can't think. I'm just having a brain fart right now. When you basically pair Cam Skattebo with our scheme, he's a guy that is going to be physical. He's going to be able to create holes. He understands running gap schemes. He knows how to read a defense. He's not a guy that is a long sprinter. He's not going to have a lot of top end speed, but he's physical. He can read, leverage. He reminds me a lot of a Peyton Hillis type of guy. Reminds me a lot of a Marshawn Lynch. Doesn't have a lot of get away from the cop speed, but he has enough speed to do what he needs to do. So Cam Skattebo is a guy that I believe will add some Heisman depth. Like I said, 23 total touchdowns, over 2,300 scrimmage yards, over 1,300 rushing yards, and over 130 yards per game. As a guy that really emerged late last season, Cam Skattebo, continue just to watch out for him as we're talking drafting running backs on the potential side of that.